tryna make it. Too many people, they don't let me down, but I keep it real, no time for hating. I'm always on that PC tryna shape my sound. See, I'm just tryna make it. I've got some people, I cannot let it down. Aiming for the top of the mountain. Not there yet, but I've left the ground. Oh, I've left the ground. I'm just tryna make it, yeah, make it, yeah, yeah. Make it, yeah, make it, yeah, yeah. Oh, I've left the ground. I'm just tryna make it, yeah, make it, yeah, yeah. Make it, yeah, make it, yeah, yeah.
Don't tell me about me. Stop telling 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 me about me. I don't need you to tell me about me.
Man, welcome back, y'all. We soul searching tonight. Yeah, that's the one we going with. Yeah, we gonna soul search tonight, man. Welcome back, y'all, to another episode of Let's Talk with Jay vs. Jordan, man. I hope everybody's doing all right tonight, man. As usual, on your way in, I need y'all to help your brother out because we trying to grow around here. So hit that like, hit that subscribe, share the videos, turn the notice on, make sure you click all, and like the video, all that shit. Yeah, whether you're watching over on Facebook, the JVJ Network, or Let's Talk. Help a brother out. Look, we about to talk about a few things tonight, man. I'll mix it up a little bit, and try to cover a few different topics. And pretty much a lot of things that are pertaining to what's going on in today's society. But first, we're going to start off with race. Yeah, we're going to start off with that one. That big old boogeyman in the room that some people just hate talking about and swear that there's nothing going on, but they always seem to be acting a certain type of way. You know what I mean? And I'm going to take it back to somebody that was before our time. And listen to the words that are coming out of this man's mouth. And think about what's going on today. And tell me that this shit does not correlate and it's still relevant in today's time. Probably because it wasn't that goddamn long ago. But if y'all don't know who James Baldwin is, you're going to get a crash course of him today. Very intelligent brother that spoke on discrimination in America. And he's going to have a quick little back and forth with another gentleman about this topic. We're gonna try to break it down. And actually, I'm feeling a little froggy tonight, so I'm gonna go ahead and drop that in there for y'all. For anybody that feels a little froggy themselves. But we're gonna jump into the video. So if y'all ready, man, get your cigarettes, get your drink, get your weed, get whatever you need, because we about to get it popping, y'all. So let's go and get it. James Baldwin.
I would like to add someone to our group here. Professor Paul Weiss, a Sterling Professor of Philosophy at Yale. And I guess I do have a copy of the book that he recently wrote with his son. It's the one you may have read about in Time magazine called Right and Wrong. It's a dialogue between father and son. His son is here and will be out later. He's a lawyer. And Mr. Weiss is, did I mention this? Sterling Professor of Philosophy at Yale. You've seen him on the show possibly before. He's the most interesting teacher I had at Yale because he didn't lecture. The class was fluid. He answers questions as they're fired at him. And I'd like him to meet you if you haven't met him yet, and to meet Mr. Baldwin and Phyllis Newman. And here's Dr. Paul Weiss. Were you able to listen to the show backstage?
A good deal of it, but then I was behind the rostrum here.
Yes.
So I heard only some of it.
Did you hear anything that you disagreed with?
I disagreed with a great deal of it. I am one of Mr. Baldwin's admirers. I've written him 10 letters. And of course, there's a good deal I agree with. But I think he's overlooking one very important matter, I think. Each one of us, I think, is...
Y'all remember the good old days, man, when you could smoke on planes, you could smoke inside of restaurants, you can smoke on TV shows. Can't do that shit no more.
Terribly alone. He lives his own individual life. He has all kinds of obstacles in the way of religion or color or size or shape or lack of ability. And the problem is to become a man. For each one of us, I think all this talk about poverty, race, prejudice is important, vital, but it's not really at the center. It deals only with the means in the way, or the obstacles in the way of becoming something much more serious and important. That is, to be someone in yourself. To become a man is a difficult job. It takes a lifetime.
I don't disagree with that at all.
I didn't think you would.
But I take that for granted. I really do.
That, you see, but by taking it for granted, you emphasize always the obstacles in the way, and perhaps you have it in mind, but I think your hearers very often forget that you have another objective in view, the one we both agree upon.
Is what I'm talking about.
I thought Sick was...
Now, y'all see, this is a college professor. I think he said he taught at Yale or whatever. And he's sitting here trying to lecture James Baldwin that it's pointless for him to talk about the discrimination that black men in America face, because that's not the objective in life. And especially not for you as a man, because your objective is to be a man. You can't focus on what other people are doing to you. You need to focus on being a man. That's always rich coming from somebody who's not having to deal with the same obstacles you have to deal with. It's rich coming from that position to tell somebody that, when, in all honesty, it's your people that's putting the obstacles in his way. But you're telling him to ignore those obstacles, disregard the hatred and evil that's been done to him, discrimination that's been done to him, focus on being a man. But watch how he eloquently handles this situation.
Asked me that question before when he asked you, aren't you being more extreme? Isn't there some other end? Is it all hopeless? In one sense, it is not hopeless. In another sense, it is. It's hopeless in the sense that nobody ever attained the state of being a full man. But it's not hopeless in the sense that every one of us has a problem which he can resolve more or less within himself. These obstacles are terrible, I agree with you, but they're not insuperable if you know what you're looking for.
But what I was discussing was not that problem, really. I was discussing the difficulties, the obstacles, the very real danger of death thrown up by the society when a black man attempts to become a man.
Yes, there's another important connected with that, and I suppose you do agree. All this emphasis upon black man and white does emphasize something which is here, but it emphasizes or perhaps exaggerates it. and therefore makes us put people together in groups which they ought not to be in. I have more in common with a black scholar than I have with a white man who's against scholarship. And you have more in common with a white author than you have with someone who's against all literature. So why must we always concentrate on color or religion or this? There are other ways of connecting men.
I'm not talking about that. I understand
I know
that.
you're not.
I understand that. But as we sit here now, by the will of the people, a man named Ronald Reagan governs California. And the terms I'm using, you must understand, are not the terms that I myself might choose. I'm not interested in whether a person is white or black or green or yellow. I'm talking about the force of the state, which at this moment is oppressing black people all over this nation.
Not all.
The force of the state, which is oppressing every black man in this nation.
You write freely, don't you not? Is black getting in your way as being a writer, an author?
Yes,
It is. Tell us how.
Now, y'all hear this, and this is an argument that I've heard a lot of white people say to black folks when they bring up issues of race. Just so happen that you're a black person that has put themselves in a good position. You're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you make a decent amount of money doing whatever you do as a profession. And they say, well, how can you say these issues exist if you exist? You made it to a good place. Obviously, those obstacles couldn't be that great. That's one of the most dismissive arguments I've ever heard in my life. Somebody could say their house is on fire, but coming from somebody with this doctor, this professor's mindset, I could tell you that my house is on fire. And as a matter of fact, I can just talk about my neighbor's house being on fire and explain it to this guy. And he'll be like, well, your house isn't on fire. As if it dismisses the issue. Their house is still on fire, regardless of where I'm at. So regardless of how far I've moved myself along in life, in society, it still doesn't take away from the discrimination and the obstacles that people that look like me and myself still face. I hate when people try to do that all the time. It's like, well, you made it. That doesn't mean shit. I made it in spite of. I think they would want to tell everybody, well, if you made it, everybody else can. Everybody's not the same. Because think about it. You're a college professor. Everybody else isn't a college professor. Why ain't they a college professor? Since everybody, it's a dumbass argument. It's dismissive of the issue and the topic that he's speaking on.
I'd like to know how being black gets in the way of your being an author.
in the first place. Now you put a little bit on the spot. I don't like to discuss myself or my work.
All right, let's not talk about you. Let's talk about some other black author or white author.
No, let's not do it that way. I'll tell you what I mean. I'll use myself. Let's go for broke. It is the first difficulty then is to, and you will say this is true for everybody, but I am like you, all right? In the first place, I have to deal with the fact that my history is inaccessible to me. That my history in this country begins with the Bill of Sale.
Your individual history?
My name is Baldwin.
Yeah.
It's an old English name.
That. My name is Weiss, and it's been derived from somebody else. Maybe my great ancestor was white-haired or whatever. I don't know.
But you have at least the Psalms of David.
I don't have them. I don't think I've read them in 10 years.
That doesn't matter.
Or 20. I couldn't tell you one of them.
That doesn't matter.
Doesn't it?
No, it doesn't. One's got to face this fact. Let us say we're both black, right? We both get here at the same time, right? You come from one tribe, I come from another. You speak one language, I speak another. We cannot talk to each other. We don't know what is happening to us. We're confronting a white man with a Bible and a gun and a cross. And what you have to do, if you're going to live, is accept this stranger, this book you cannot yet read, under the gun. Wait a moment. You asked me a question, I'll do my best to answer it.
Yes, but you must give me a chance to say something
Yeah,
too.
but one moment. I really will. I'm not trying to.
Can I do something even more unforgivable? Because due to the mechanics, if we don't pause now, we may not be back for a while. So we will, and then we'll be back. Stay with us. Gentlemen, where were we?
I was in the middle of the Psalms of David.
Yes.
Right?
It's attributed to me somehow.
But I was trying to make a point. The point is this simply: that one began here with a history of an identity, not only inaccessible, but also systematically and deliberately denied, and destroyed. The Moynihan Report talks about the breakup of the Negro family. And it occurs to me as a very bitter kind of comment on the people who did their best to break up that family. Now to blame the family for being broken up. And to suggest
he wasn't doing that by the report I read. Okay.
Well, there are no male father images for a Negro child. Big news.
But he was trying
in
to
the first
describe
in the first place, that's not as true as Moynihan would like to think. Otherwise, there would be none of us here at all. The point is that then, come back to where I was. One has to really excavate out of the absence of a history, and then out of the presence of a history which is absolutely indescribable. You must remember that I was taught, and black children until the day are being taught, that no black people ever contributed anything to history, that I was not much better than an ape, and I was lucky to be discovered in Africa by white people.
Mr. Baldwin, but if your case were carried out all the way through the way you're putting it, it'd be hard to understand how you ever wrote a word. After all, you're a distinguished novelist. You must have had time of freedom. Somebody must have paid attention to it. You must have been reviewed objectively as an author, not as a Negro. Nobody gave a damn whether your great ancestor had been bought or sold, but they treated your literature or your work in its own terms. That's where you wanted it. That's where you had it. That's where you're having it now. What are you criticizing? What are you objecting to? That there are terrible injustices, everyone admits. But you're generalizing and you're rigidifying, you're solidifying it in such a way as if there's no way out. You're an exhibition of the fact there's a way out.
Am I?
This is the same argument you hear people say today. You'll still have, when you have, I've had many conversations with my white brothers and sisters about the issues that we have in today's society in America and across the world. And they always say this dumb shit. That's why I think it's a passed down talking point. You keep trying to put the onus on the person that's actually made something of themselves, but while ignoring the obstacles that everyone else faces. And the problem that I really think people do that, I think the problem for why they do it is that it's a reflection on them as a group of people. My ancestors didn't enslave yours. My ancestors did not redline your people. My ancestors did not give free land to my own people and exclude you from it. My ancestors did not make you go fight in a war and then when you came back not have access to a GI Bill. My ancestors did not give your ass syphilis and send you back into your family so you infected your families. My ancestors didn't break your family up. My ancestors didn't systematically put the police on you so you live in turmoil, kind of like them people over there in Palestine living right now. My ancestors didn't do any of those things to you. But you want to dismiss all of those because your ancestors did it and try to talk about what I've done in spite of those things. It's an evil argument, if I'm honest with y'all. It's an evil argument. And that list that I was going down, y'all, I can keep going. Because it's been a lot of atrocities done to black folks in this country. And for him to say that back in the 60s to this man, it's a slap in the face. He tried to explain it to him. I wasn't even privy to my own history outside of this country. The only history I have is that I started here as a slave. I know not what country I come from on the continent of Africa. You know where you come from. There's power in knowing where you came from because it helps you get to where you're going to go. And that was stripped away from him. He doesn't understand what he's talking about, or he just doesn't care. And he said, we got Big Op in the building. He said he's telling him not to talk about what he writes about. Interesting, ain't it? Ain't that interesting? Let's keep going.
Yes. You yourself admitted. You're not just the incarnation of blackness, you're an author. That's why I think of you.
I beg your pardon. I am also the oldest of 9 children, all of whom are black. I am one of the few survivors of my generation, all of whom the people I'm speaking of are black. For every Jimmy Baldwin or Sammy Davis or Harry Belafonte or Sidney Poitier, there are a whole lot of people you've never heard of, at least equally talented, perhaps more talented, who do not manage. I'll tell you how one makes it in this country if you're black. You have to decide somehow that you are not going to be controlled by what white people think of you.
Of course. What anybody thinks of you, ultimately you have to think of yourself and be true to yourself.
I don't care what Senator Eastland thinks about me.
Who cares?
Or Ronald Reagan thinks about me, but they have the power to destroy my life and the life of my children, and this is given them by the will of the state. I'm not talking about myself as a writer. Of course I'm a writer, I know that. I know what produced me too. And it was not simply Charles Dickens or any of your colleges. It was also Bessie Smith and Ray Charles and my father, who was a preacher, and my mother, who learned how to sing.
That's cool with anybody who's a writer.
What I am trying to say is that the gap, the distance placed between myself and my own assessment, my own experience, was much greater than it would be for any white person in this country.
I don't believe it.
I know you don't believe it.
And they say that same thing today. He said he doesn't believe it. He's talking about the gap set in between him and an average white person is much greater. And this guy sat here and said he doesn't believe it. You don't believe there's a gap between a group of people in a country where a group of people were not allowed to read, write, go to school, own land, get married for over 400 years, and you don't think there's a gap between you two? That's a very dismissed, and this is a college professor. Think about that, y'all. He's a college professor at Yale, and he doesn't even understand the dynamics of what's going on in society. He doesn't understand the history of this country. To sit there and say he doesn't believe there's a gap, the problem is, never mind, I'm gonna let Baldwin finish first.
I'm not complaining. I'm not copying a plea. It's not a special plea. I'm trying to make you see something. Pretend
Every
that I'm an
child
actor.
starts from scratch. They are helped in various exterior ways in order to be able to find themselves. But the finding of themselves goes within. To become a writer is something that you have to struggle with by yourself, in yourself. And all these other things are conditions and problems. And I grant you had more than other people have.
I didn't even say that. I said they were different. I'll tell you this. When I left this country in 1948, I left this country for one reason only, one reason. I didn't care where I went. I might have gone to Hong Kong, I might have gone to Timbuktu, ended up in Paris, on the streets of Paris, with $40 in my pocket on the theory that nothing worse could happen to me there than it already happened to me here. You talk about making it as a writer by yourself. You had to be able then to turn off all the antenna with which you live, because once you turn your back on this society, you may die. You may die. And it's very hard to sit at a typewriter and concentrate on that if you're afraid of the world around you. The years I lived in Paris did one thing for me. They released me from that particular social terror, which was not the paranoia of my own mind, but a real social danger visible in the face of every cop, every boss, everybody.
You see how he keeps shaking his head no? Because he wants to dismiss the evil of his own folks. He wants to dismiss the evil of his own folks, and he doesn't want to recognize it. He chooses not to recognize it. But hold up real quick, like y'all, we got Miss Jackson up in the building. Let's see. Still got the echo. What's up? Yeah, hey, your audio is messed. Go back out and come back in. Yeah, because I can hear the background and I can't even hear you. Like, go back out and come back in.
All right.
All right. Let's come back into it, y'all. Let's get back to it.
Everybody, no matter who, no matter what his attitude, is bigoted.
I did not say that.
Well, has an attitude. It's on his face. Is in the way of every boss.
But you're
every
asking me to do something impossible. You're asking me to take the will for the deed. I don't know what most white people in this country feel, but I can only include what they feel from the state of their institutions. I don't know if white Christians hate Negroes or not, but I know that we have a Christian church which is white and a Christian church which is black. I know, as Malcolm X once put it, the most segregated hour in American life is high noon on Sunday. That's a great deal for me about a Christian nation. It means that I can't afford to trust most white Christians, and certainly cannot trust the Christian church. I don't know whether the labor unions and their bosses really hate me. That doesn't matter, but I know I'm not in their union. I don't know if the real estate lobby is anything against black people, but I know the real estate lobbies keep me in the ghetto. I don't know if the Board of Education hates black people, but I know the textbooks I give my children to read and the schools that we have to go to. Now, this is the evidence. You want me to make an act of faith, risking myself, my wife, my woman, my sister, my children, on some idealism which you assure me exists in America, which I have never seen.
Right. You want to take 30 seconds to answer that? All right. We will be back after this message.
You see that he didn't answer that question. James made a great point that's irrefutable. You want me to believe in something that I have never seen. You tell me that this is not true, but every time I turn around, this is all I see. But you want me to believe, though. Interesting. We got Miss Jackson back. Yeah, you still got that. Let me see if I can change something over here. Nah, I can't do nothing. Let's see.
I don't have nothing. Anything.
There's something going on over there because it's something going on over there. Like I don't know what's going on with your audio. I can't change nothing over there. Chad, help me out. What y'all think it is that she need to switch over there? Go to your settings in StreamYard. Click on settings and see what go to the part that says audio. And see what it says for your mic.
I see. Okay, I don't see settings, but I do see StreamYard at the bottom. I don't see my settings. I see StreamYard at the bottom.
What you mean you don't see settings?
I don't see where to go into the settings. I clicked at the top, the right-hand corner with the 3 dots.
Nah, at the bottom, underneath where our faces are at.
Okay, hit more settings. All right, then go to audio.
Yeah.
Okay, I got mic volume is medium. I don't.
No, I ain't looking at the volume. Click on where it says mic. Like, what's your output? Like, what is it set on? Your mic set on?
I do say default, and then it say echo cancellation.
Click on the one where it says default.
All right. I got speaker and I got headset earpiece. Speakerphone or headset earpiece.
Click on headset.
All right.
Yeah. Let me
Is
see.
that any better?
Yeah, I think so. Hold up. Let me see.
Well, I can barely hear you.
That's better. That's a lot better.
That's better on your end, but you sound real low on my end.
Turn your volume up on the side of your phone.
It is. Just turn it all the way up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you might have to invest in some headphones. Because, yeah, if you don't have it on that, it's an echo and it just keeps ringing and ringing and ringing. Everybody can hear it. But, y'all let the people know what's up, man. Let them know where to find you at.
All right, what's good this evening, fam? I am Kenny Jackson. You can check me out at School for Justice on YouTube, where we talk about equality, justice, freedom, and facts.
All right, now, what were your thoughts on what Mr. Baldwin was talking about so far?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it looks like to me, white people feel like because we're not physically enslaved anymore, they don't, and they changed that law of slavery like they did us a favor. You know, it's just them trying to cover up their righteous, trying to make themselves look righteous and cover up they dirty deeds. You know, that's the way I'm viewing it. Trying to justify 400 years, over 400 years of slavery. So that's kind of where I'm at, you know, in the interview they was having.
It really bothers me when I go back and I watch these, and I think it should be a part of the educational system for people to watch these conversations between people like James Baldwin, conversations with Malcolm X, conversations with Marcus Garvey, Martin Luther King, things of that sort. I think they need to actually go back and watch some of these conversations because a lot of people are naive to what actually is transpiring, and a lot of the talking points are the same of the past. Like a lot of the same talking points they use nowadays to talk to people to justify or dismiss issues that we bring up, they were using back then. Because if we talk about the wealth gap, inequality that we have, the discrimination that Black people still in 2025 face, they will say, well, LeBron James made it to the league. Barack Obama was a president, as if that dismisses what currently goes on right now. We spoke about Tyree Nichols last night. In the year of 2025, we had 3 Black officers beat a Black man to death. And in the year 2025, somehow an all-white jury who saw it on camera dismissed it and said nothing to see here. Right. We still have issues in society. They can't dismiss that. The wealth gap is a prime example between black families and white families. It's an issue. Just because we have some people that have achieved some of the greater things in society does not mean for the majority nothing has changed. Doesn't dismiss it. But
Exactly. We know it's not physical now; it's just mental. You know what I'm saying? That's the way they switched the game up. You know, and you got the police taking our lives. We got, you know, and slavery is so poison and so in debt that it taught us to hate ourselves, and the results it leads up to the black on black crime. You know, and like I'll just kind of reiterate from last night, we have to first learn to have unity amongst ourselves and know who we are before we can really attack the injustice from any other race or any other allies or outsiders. You know, we have to gain our identity back and our land back and our families back and our lives back that was stolen from us. You know, we have to fight for it every day. So it's an uphill journey.
so I say it always starts with the individual. You have to make a conscious decision inside of yourself that you want to do the right thing, and in spite of everything, and slowly build. Because if it starts with me, then it starts with the girl I get with, then we pass it on to our kids, help build them up. We start building families, then we build communities, and then we can change society on a greater scale. Because they always say, man, a one person trying to fight against the system is not going to change anything. You need masses of people. That's why during his time, that's how black people got a lot of these things changed in society. It was a movement amongst a group of people. And there's always been a war to divide us amongst each other, like you said. Only a group of people can change something. And we got a lot of individuals out here, and that's how they want it. They work really, really hard to break down our families, our communities, so we are in the state that we are in. And then they talk shit about it, which is funny. They blame you for the shit that they did to you. And it's like, that's hilarious. But yeah, people, I think you need to, like, if y'all don't know who James Baldwin is, man, go look him up on YouTube. He was a great guy, very wise, very smart, and he talked about the issues, and you'll be surprised, those are some of the same issues we're still facing today. But second topic, we're going to talk about a little politics. You ready for a little politics?
Let's get it.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Donald Trump and his little cult group called MAGA, y'all. So I know some of y'all might get triggered by that, but actually, I want to give this channel a shout out to Dark Brandon. Shout out to Dark Brandon on this one, because the leopards be eating people's faces around here. But let's check it out. Here we go, y'all.
Hey there, folks. Hope you're doing well today. Today, I wanted to introduce you to the YouTuber and streamer Jake Var. He's got a channel called Project VO Pod. Like any responsible live streamer, he spent 4 hours, justifying why people should be using the N-word. But let's take a quick look at his intro where he solidifies his credibility in talking about how he's a Hispanic.
And we are live. Are you one of those white folks fighting back in this scenario? If so, I call BS. No, Chairman of the Board. I am one of those wetbacks that I have to come in and help you white folks from standing up for yourselves to these black people that are rioting on the streets and saying that you're racist. That's what I'm doing, because you guys are too weak to do it yourselves, y'all crackers. All right?
So out of the gate, really strong, using racial derogatory terms towards, Mexicans, white people. Well, again, communicating this general idea that white people are victims and making false claims that black people are rioting in the streets. It's just amazing YouTube allows this video to stay up with so many derogatory terms in just the first 15 seconds. But it doesn't take long before the racists even turn on him. It's great.
Chairman of the Board, so which sort of Mexican are you? Cuban? Which sort of Mexican am I? A Spaniard.
So he doesn't even finish reading the question, right? The chairman of the board asks, so which sort of Mexican are you? Cuban, Honduran, Chilean? And so this has to be a troll, right? So people from Mexico are Mexican. People from Cuba are Cuban. People from Honduras are Honduran. And people from Chile are Chilean.
I guess. Well, like my lineage is Mexico, but it came from the Spaniards, etc. But yeah, so I guess if that answers your question, but I'm not any of those, that's for sure. Okay.
And then the amazing recovery where he laughs and says, but I'm not any of those, kind of uncomfortably. But it's so great to see racism backfire on the racists so quickly.
They're going back and forth here. No, it is about the blacks being sensitive. They're sensitive about the word. I've stated this already plenty of fucking times. You can replace the word nigger with porch monkey, whatever. They're still going to be fucking upset. They're still going to want to attack you. They're still going to fucking turn into savages when they hear a word.
And so here we're seeing Jake display emotional immaturity. The N-word is one of the most emotionally and historically charged words of the English language. The word's meaning is shaped by centuries of oppression, violence, and resistance. For him to deny this demonstrates he has no perspective, no empathy, and no emotional maturity.
The fact that one...
And outside of that, that word was used to put people like me, well, at least to let us know what place we were, how we were less than a human being. 3/5 to be exact, according to the people that love to use that word. This is a conversation that a lot of conservatives have been having in protection of that woman, Shiloh Hendricks, that called that 5-year-old autistic kid the N-word. The hard ER. Multiple times. This is the conversation that they're having. Oh, these black people are so bent out of shape that she called a 5-year-old autistic kid a nigger. What's the big deal? Now you're gonna act like savages, ain't you? It's embarrassing. And that's why I tell people a lot of the times, regardless of whether they know it or not, because I hear a lot of people say, well, that was back in the past. People did these things back in the past. We moved on. We're different. We're not those same people. You are those same people. You are those same people. If you see fucked up shit happening to a group of people, you see fucked up things happening to people, and you don't say anything, you're those people. If you're the one doing it, you're those people. The only ones that I don't put into that category are the ones who speak out against the shit. It's amazing that you have grown-ass adults in America right now that will justify anybody verbally abusing a child, let alone calling a black child the N-word. But somehow they're righteous, and us black folks are just losing their minds. It takes sick individuals, and I'm telling y'all, it's a lot of devils walking this earth. There are a lot of devils walking this earth right now. A lot of them. But I'm gonna let them keep going.
One little word that hurts their feelings allows these black people to become irrational monkeys. I'm just gonna say it, irrational monkeys. You know, banging the table, going crazy. That's the problem here, is that blacks in America need to be more stoic.
And we are not creating this content to give this person a larger platform, but instead, there will be a moment in time of accountability. And these videos will prevent them from whitewashing their actions.
But yeah, we are going to talk about the dreaded N-word. And here's the thing, the N-word's dead. It's fucking dead. You know? And who killed it was other black people. It was other black people. It was the race baiting, the constant race baiting of whites saying, you are racist. You criticize black people, you are racist. Therefore, we can shut down the conversation.
And this part here where he says the N-word is dead. Incredible. Racism solved, everyone. All it took was a random dude in a podcast dungeon to declare it over. Called the Nobel Committee.
All the way through. And black people are not the only ones guilty of this. You know, the Jews tend to use this same tactic with, you're anti-Semitic. Oh shit, I don't want to be looked at as I hate Jews, so let's just shut down the conversation at that, right?
And of course, now Jews, because no racist rant is complete without dragging in every marginalized group in the mud, like a hate group buffet. They start with black people, usually pivot to trans, and just when you think it couldn't get more 4chan, boom, anti-Semitism shows up fashionably late, like at RSVP'd, hell yes. These guys treat being accused of anti-Semitism like it's the real crime. Not the bigotry, not the dog whistles, not the centuries of blood-soaked history they're casually cosplaying. No, the real injustice is being called out for it. It's always the same tired playbook. Use the coded language, play dumb, and whine when being called anti-Semitic or racist.
When I say,
And that's a very important part that he put out right there. The accountability is the problem that they have. They say freedom of speech when it came to this issue. Freedom of speech was the big thing they said. We have the freedom of speech. You do. You have the right to say any racist shit you want to say. The only issue is you're not absolved of the accountability that might follow. You can do whatever you want in this world, but there's always checks and balances to what you do. There's going to be a consequence. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. They don't like that reaction. And that's the true issue. For some reason, you want to be hateful. You want to be evil, but you don't want to be called out for it. That's their issue. And this guy's he's saying he's Mexican. Dude, the Conservative Party does not like you. You pass for white, which is probably what's saving your ass right now for a little while. But when it all comes down to it, they don't like you. They don't like you. That's why I laugh when I see a lot of Jewish people in the Republican Party. Didn't they march through a whole city with tiki torches yelling Jews will not replace them? But you on their side? These people don't like y'all either. Tim Scott, goofy ass. You over in the Republican Party, you think they like your ass? You just a useful idiot. But they don't like being called out for the things they do. It's like a girl being a whore and not getting mad when you call her a hoe. If the shoe fits, motherfucker, wear it. Just wear it. But they really got an issue with saying the N-word. Ms. Jackson, you had anything before I kept going?
No, I was saying, could you hear me a little clearer?
I can hear you now.
Okay, cool. And I fixed it where I can hear you much better. All right.
Right, yeah. Did you have anything before I kept going?
You go ahead. I kind of missed it a little bit, trying to adjust the audio.
All right.
the N-word's dead, I'm using that as a kind of like a metaphor, right? To where now white people, to a degree, are fighting back. I mean, I look at the scenario, and we'll.
The question is, fighting back against what? Because I've heard that term a lot coming from people that, because he passes for white. I hear a lot of white people saying that we're fighting back. We're sick of this shit. Sick of what? Do you know what they sick of? They fighting back against? Ms. Jackson, you know what they fighting back against? Because I don't know.
So man, that sounds insane to me to actually talk about they fighting. I mean, if you telling this is your land and you rule and you reign this, you know, privileged and supremacist, and you're the superior. Absolutely no sense. What could you possibly be fighting for?
I don't know what their obstacle is, but either way, though, let's keep going.
We'll review it more thoroughly. But I look at this scenario where, you know, she called this little black boy a niglet, went viral for it, super viral for it, and she gets $500,000, right?
Then this part where he says white people are fighting back from what? Accountability? That's not a rebellion. That's emotional CrossFit. You're not storming the beaches in Normandy. You're rage quitting empathy because someone told you to stop saying slurs in public. These guys act like being called out for racism is worse than actually living through it. Like getting ratioed on Twitter is somehow equivalent to centuries of systematic oppression. Newsflash, going viral for racism isn't persecution. It's performance art for bigots. And the people defending her aren't freedom fighters. They're the Yelp reviewers of Jim Crow, loud, entitled, and utterly unaware of how ridiculous they sound. If this is what fighting back looks like, it's not a movement. It's a tantrum with ring lights.
How white people are. Is that
Goddamn right.
I 100% agree with what he just said. Yeah, let's keep going.
sending a message to the blacks saying we're kind of tired of this crazy outrage culture that you guys are revolving around a word. right? Say the N-word and automatically, and I've spoken to other Black people, even on panels like Fatty, that have told me it's perfectly okay for a Black person to attack a white person if they use the N-word under any context.
Then here, when he talks about being tired of the outrage culture, no, you're tired of consequences. You want to say the quiet part out loud, scream it in a megaphone, spray paint it on your truck, live stream it on Rumble, and still get invited to the brunch like you're not emotionally hoarding Confederate memorabilia. This isn't cancel culture, it's called feedback, and you're allergic to it. You want all the freedom of speech with none of the social consequences. Like a drunk uncle demanding the mic at Thanksgiving, then crying when he's not invited back. Let's be honest. What you call outrage culture is usually just people saying, hey, that thing you said, it's racist. And your response, full meltdown. Suddenly, you're a victim of a woke witch hunt because someone dared to ask you not to behave like a 4chan forum in khakis. This is not 1984. You're not a silenced truth teller. You're just pissed that the world stopped treating bigotry like a quirky personality trait. If you get backlash every time you open your mouth, maybe it's not society that's broken, maybe it's your mouth. The mirror is not bullying you, it's just reflecting who you are.
Because it's
And I couldn't agree anymore. You can't. How are you getting mad that people are calling you out for the bullshit that you're saying? And first off, I would always ask anybody that tries to sit around and defend these talking points. First off, why do you feel the urge to want to be hateful to somebody else? Like, we really need to do some self-reflecting and some soul searching. What is it that's in you that makes you want to be hateful, racist, and disrespectful to another group of people? What makes you want to do that? Then after we figure that out, then maybe you might start to realize why doing bad things is not a good thing, you know? Just maybe. Ms. Jackson, any thoughts?
It's called intimidation, you know, some form of jealousy, envy. That's a dangerous weapon. And intimidation, when you feel infuriated by another group of people, you know, we are the original man. It's a scientific fact and proof that Adam and Eve, the first human, was created and born, are Black, are African, from Africa. And actually the Garden of Eden is by the Nile River, which is in Africa. So I think it's a lot of intimidation, and they're, you know, inferior to us because we are the original man, and they believe that we were God's chosen people. And, you know, I believe it is a big gap in the middle. It could definitely be a mystery to how the other races came about and so forth and so on. But at the end of the day, fear is also the root to hate. People fear what they don't understand, and it can develop into anger. So at the end of the day, man, it's intimidation.
All right now. Let's keep going.
Well, freedom, yeah, you could say the N-word, but you're not freedom of consequences bullshit argument, right?
Bullshit argument. You literally, you know what it is. Hey, hold
That
on.
ain't right. That ain't right. It ain't right.
He knows what the issue is. He's conscious of it. He just doesn't like it. He just doesn't like it. That bullshit ass argument. What bullshit ass? Look, he actually knows. He knows. Let me say it one more time. He knows.
Reflecting who you are.
Because it's freedom, yeah, you could say the N-word, but you're not freedom of consequences bullshit argument, right?
He knows. He just doesn't like it. He doesn't like that he's supposed to get in trouble for the things he says. I think we hit it on the head earlier. He wants freedom from consequences. Okay.
This is kind of like their thought process when it comes to that word, you know?
Freedom of speech isn't freedom from consequences. Exactly. That's not oppression. That's called being an adult in a functioning society. You can say whatever ignorant, unwashed thoughts pop into your head, but don't act shocked when people respond like you just took a dump on the dinner table and called it patriotism. Free speech means the government won't arrest you for being a bigot. It doesn't mean the rest of us have to nod politely while you cosplay as Andrew Jackson's fever dream. You're not being silenced, you're being judged, and rightfully so. Because when your idea of free thought is racial slurs in a podcast hoodie, society isn't going to throw you a parade. They're going to throw your career in a ditch behind a Waffle House. Accountability isn't cancel culture. It's the bill arriving after a long meal of loud opinions and bad faith. Then, buddy, you've been dining like the check wasn't coming. So yes, say what you want. Just don't cry when the world hears it and replies, wow, that guy's a jackass. Because in your case, they're not wrong. So what did we learn today? Apparently, if you're racist, anti-Semitic, and historically illiterate and deeply insecure, you can find a webcam and a bunch of supporters and a few thousand followers desperate to cosplay as oppressed truth-tellers. But here's the thing. Freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom from judgment, and being called out isn't censorship, it's consequence. These folks aren't fighting back. They're flailing against a world that's finally telling them, no, you don't get to be vile and celebrated. They're not being silenced, they're being heard clearly for the first time. And what we hear is ugly, shallow, and intellectually bankrupt. If outrage over slurs is confusing to you, congratulations, you've mistaken your entitlement for oppression. And if you think being called a jackass is worse than being one, then I got news for you. It's not the culture that's broken, it's you.
Leopards are eating my face.
Leopards eating their goddamn face. Give me your thoughts on that. Because I like the way he does his channel, y'all. Shout out to Dark Brandon, man. I like some of the little, I like the way he talked. But yeah, give me your thoughts, Miss Jackson.
Well, hey man, he broke it down like James Brown, you know. The truth will gonna always stand. And like I said, they know that we are we have the power, we're superior. You know, we have been blessed with the gift and the knowledge to succeed and prosper in this life. That was a gift from God. And they was jealous and intimidated and wanted to steal our identity and steal our lives. That's what this whole, I feel, the suppression and oppression is about. Because they looked at it like we are God's chosen people and they are the outcasts. So they wanted to make themselves the chosen ones. And that goes back to us being the original creation. So it gets deep. It gets deep. Because if you think about it, this slavery has been going on since the beginning of history, all down through the years, generations after generations, and we're still fighting. People have sacrificed their lives, and some people, with the prison and so much they have went through, and we're still fighting for equality. So it's pretty deep, man. And old dude's channel, he kept it real. He just put it out there and kept it 100.
I agree. I'm gonna give y'all one more Brandon one, short one, before we get to the funny video of the night. But yeah, I'm not even gonna explain this one. I'm just gonna let us watch it.
Hey there, folks. Hope you're doing well today. It's me, Frank, guardian angel, assigned to well. I used to guard souls. Now, I spend my eternity watching Chan from Nebraska cry because he got called Sir instead of King. I want to talk about the most oppressed class in America, white men. Just ask them. They'll tell you endlessly, loudly, on podcasts, on Fox News, from a Lifton truck with Let's Go Brandon decals and 2 flags flapping like trauma napkins. And then when you ask them exactly how they're oppressed, crickets, confused stares, maybe a story about how they had to sit through corporate slideshows with the words unconscious bias in it, truly horrid. And they're like, why can't I say what I really think anymore? You can. You absolutely can. You just don't like the part where people think you're a racist asshole afterwards. That's not oppression. That's feedback. They miss the good old days, the ones where you could yell the N-word in public and still get promoted, cheat on your wife and get elected, and assault someone and say, boys will be boys, like it's a biblical verse. Now, when someone rolls their eyes at you on a Facebook rant, you think you're being stoned in a town square. You're not victims, you're just mad the game's not rigged hard enough in your favor anymore. You still run Congress, Wall Street, the police, Hollywood, country music, and the goddamn History Channel. But the moment you hear the phrase diversity hire, you act like you're being dragged behind a Prius. You're not being erased. You're being asked to share. And you're failing the group project of civilization spectacular. And I mean, listen, yes, you can't say the N-word. You can't grab an intern. You can't call every woman who disagrees with you at work a bimbo. Boo-hoo. You call it cancel culture. I call it finally not being the loudest idiot in the room, or I don't know, being civilized, being decent, being respectful. And as everybody knows, this week a white woman was caught on camera calling a black child the N-word and raised nearly $1 million on GiveSendGo for being racist. Meanwhile, that child's family got half as much. But tell me...
Hold on. I gotta stop right there. I gotta play it again.
That ain't right. That ain't right. It ain't right.
Y'all, this is happening in America. But you hear what they tell us, Jackson. You remember James Baldwin was talking to the white guy in the last video. He was talking to the white guy. He was like, it doesn't matter about these things. You're your own man. It's still happening in 2025.
To children, so an innocent child, and you want to teach them that lie, like that's who they are or that's their identity. I mean, that's just pure hate. And if that don't explain it, nothing will.
They don't really understand, like, to them it's nothing. But the shit they complain about is truly nothing. You don't care what that child might go through, because they always talk about mental problems. They always got these mental problems. You know, we had to start giving out mental health because white people were losing their fucking minds. We need to care about people when they committed crimes. It was a mental health issue. You know, that's what they got. When the motherfucker just crazy and shooting people because he was mad about something. We all knew what the fuck it was. They are losing their minds again over, man, look, I'm just gonna let him keep talking because I ain't finna, ooh-wee. Hold on, man.
Me again, who's really oppressed? Listen, white men, you're not being prosecuted. You're just being asked to function in a world where other people exist. And your reaction? It's a toddler meltdown in khakis. So here's your angelic guidance for the day. If you think being asked not to be a bigot is tyranny, then maybe the problem is you. I'm Frank. I used to protect the innocent. Now I babysit the emotionally stunted. And if I hear one more white guy with a neck vein saying he's the real victim, I'm applying for demon duty. Fly safe unless you're crying because a woman got the job you didn't apply for. In that case, I hope your vape explodes.
He got me with that last one. I wasn't expecting that joke. You mad that a woman got the job that you didn't apply for? I've seen people get mad at shit like that. Like, you weren't even looking for the job. You weren't even trying to get the job, but you're mad that somebody else got it. And that's kind of what's going on right now in society, whether they really, like, you wanted to simplify it. It's a child's reaction. The only difference is this child has nuclear weapons and guns and police and systems that can keep their little temper tantrum from happening. These motherfuckers are losing their mind that other people are getting an equal chance at the game. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy to say. You're mad that other people are getting the same opportunity you've always had. You really do some soul searching and dig down deep. Because I've heard it before, man. They're canceling all those white people. Like, what the fuck? They're canceling you? Who's canceling you first off? Who's canceling you first? Because I bet money is going to be white people. Black folks, we ain't cancel shit. We ain't cancel shit. We'll make motherfuckers adjust. Like we hit Target with that boycott and shit. We made them adjust and not do the shit they did. We didn't cancel Target. They still operating. We can't cancel shit. Your own people are the ones who take you off these platforms, don't hire you for these jobs. Your own people are doing that to you, but you still mad at us. It's a child's tantrum, in my opinion. Ms. Jackson, give me your thoughts.
Yeah, man, you hit it on the head, you know, and it's sickening. It's just ridiculous. Like, you know, this is an ongoing thing, and then they have the
Yeah.
audacity to try to play like this victim role. How could you possibly be a victim when you are the oppressor? Like you trying to identify to us who's being oppressed. Like, wow, you know, it's unbelievable. So yeah, man, it's just until it is defeated, it will never end. Until it can just really be conquered. That's the only way that we can survive through it.
I'm with you. Shit, I'm with you on that because you can't claim to be the victim when you're the attacker, and they've been trying to do that shit for the longest. Any white person that says they're oppressed in 2025, you really need to take a second to look in the mirror. Matter of fact, you might need to open up a book, but you see why a lot of folks were pushing back when states like Florida were trying to take away Black history out of schools. Trump's been going through the White House, taking people off of the government website. You know, Jackie Robinson got kicked off. Maya Angelou got kicked off. They claim it was all a mistake, but the only people keep getting kicked off these lists off the history of the United States is just these Black folks. You ain't canceling no white folks. They said DEI was such a bad thing when white women benefited from that shit more than anybody else. You know, fucking, they just been crying and coming at a lot of stuff and telling us that it ain't what it looks like. It ain't what it looks like. And that's another issue I got. Say it again.
Oh, definitely not. It's totally backwards, man. Reverse. They try to play that reverse psychology on us. Reverse the roles. It definitely ain't what it looks like or appears to be.
And it's really irritating to me. It's really irritating, and it's irritating to a lot of other people in the world. We all see it. Some people are just silent about it. We happen to be on the side of people that ain't silent about it. Like, I'm gonna say something to you. If all the ones that get irritated by it, I told you the other night, you go suck my left nut. Y'all can still do that. Y'all can still do that if you got a problem with somebody saying something about it. It's an issue that we need to root out. Motherfucker, you're not no goddamn victim. Stop fucking crying. Stop bitching and complaining. Everybody else is getting the same opportunity. Or in the sad part, they're still not getting the same opportunity as you. They're still not. You know, they wanted to get rid of affirmative action, but they left legacy admissions still on the books. And a lot of people don't even know what legacy admissions was, but they knew what affirmative action was. Amazing to me. Affirmative action helping everybody as a group get in that didn't have the opportunity to get in before because, you know, y'all was just being racist and not letting people apply. But you left legacy shit. So if your daddy went to the school, I can go to the school automatically. I don't have to have the grades just because my parent went there. Well, who was historically allowed to even go to college? Majority of Black folks weren't allowed to go to colleges, especially not those colleges. But you didn't get rid of that. You got rid of the shit that helped everybody. And white women benefited the most from that shit too.
But look, man, they know that we are so powerful that even when they tried to strip us as if we didn't exist, they treated us as if we did not exist. No right to education, you know, no right to vote, no right to work, no right to earn money, no right to live. We still survive and press our way through. So they, you know, that's just a validation or verify that they know how powerful we are, and that's the root to the intimidation.
Yeah, look, I would be surprised too, man. Like if I did all that shit to a group of people for so long, how evil and sick it was, and still doing it still to this day, and they still here. That's kind of scary. I said this the other day. A Black guy that's at a job with a white dude, I can understand that white dude feeling some type of way. What background? He go, you got a nice job. You're a lawyer or something. Black guy's a lawyer. White dude's a lawyer. I'm pretty sure he's probably looking at him like, how the fuck are you here? All the shit my people do to you and you still here, nigga? Like, how are you here? I work my ass off to get here in their mind. But how are you here? That's very intimidating to a person that's, bitch, you got the game. I know I got the game rigged in my favor. And you still here? It's like, how you still here? I rigged it so you wouldn't be here. They're scary. Persevering in spite of. But I do want to correct something because a lot of these folks are I got to talk about it. I ain't talked about it I haven't talked about this. I haven't even did a show on this at all, but I'm gonna speak on it right now. The shit happening over there in Palestine. The Israel versus Palestine, Israel versus Gaza, whatever they want to call it, war that they got going on.
Yeah.
A lot of people are rightfully irritated about the situation that's going on over there. Rightfully so. And I know especially a lot of black folks are a little concerned about that going on, saying pretty much calling out and saying it's wrong, because you're watching something that any person with a heart and a soul should know ain't cool. But we got a lot of people out there that justify it. Now, the Jewish people in America and around the world get a bad name because of this situation going on. But I want you to understand, there are two different types of Jews in their opinion, in their group. And I'm actually going to have a Jew explain this shit to you. He's going to talk about the issue that's going on over there, but what the real issue is. And you might actually learn something, y'all. Y'all might learn something right here, because I learned something when I watched this. So check it out.
Rabbi David Feldman, thank you so much for sitting here with us today. And we're filming this interview at a time where student activists across the U.S.
Let me shout out the channel. So I don't want nobody else emailing me talking about, you need to shout out my channel. This is a TRT World. All right, y'all. I don't think they need a shout now. They got 9.11 million subscribers. I think they good on the shout out, but I don't want to get another email from somebody telling me that shit. And see, you said, Jay, turn your mic up. Baby Angel. What the fuck? I'd be stupid. My mic low? Is my mic been low? I thought I was good. I think I'm
can hear you pretty good on my end.
Yeah, I just think he talking shit. But either way, though, Rabbi, continue what you were saying.
Are being arrested for their pro-Palestine activism with claims that they're being anti-Semitic. What's your take on all of this?
Well, accusing people who stand up for the oppressed, people who say something when they see crimes taking place, this is not anti-Semitic. You know, doing what's right and speaking up for the oppressed is not anti-Semitic in any way. When these students, it's not only the students, it's so many other people are being attacked with this false accusation of anti-Semitism. This is disturbing, because in the time, as you say, in the time that we see this genocide going on in Gaza, so many people, tens of thousands of people are being mass murdered, innocent people. This is something that us, people in the free world, should say something. This is unjust. This is unjust for the people of Palestine that this voice is attempted to be silenced. But it's not only doing injustice for the Palestinian people, this is doing injustice for the Jewish people as well. Because when you conflate Judaism and Zionism, you conflate anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism, you're making a statement as if all Jews support all what's going on, and as if all Jews are accountable to what's going on. But we always need to know better than that. And we try to educate people to understand that anti-Zionism has nothing to do with anti-Semitism, because Judaism and Zionism are not the same. Judaism is a religion. Zionism is a political movement. Should never be conflated.
Yes, and New York is one of the hotspots, shall we say, of Judaism, with over 2 million Jews living in this city. And as you say, some of them are anti-Zionist. But
hey man, I know it's for their religion, but I would never have my hair looking like that, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't trying to be, look, I would never have my shit looking like that. But I know it's a part of the religion when you're practicing over there. Well, they doing this in New York, but you know, a lot don't dress like that.
Meanwhile, some of them support the state of Israel and, you know, identify as Zionists. And sometimes we see them confronting you because of your stance. What's your take on them?
Well, first of all, as you say, New York is a very good example. Yes, there are a lot of Jewish people in New York. Many of them support Israel, but there's a massive community who is anti-Zionist. And people might not know because the mainstream media would never show you that. Like, for example, there was a couple of years ago, there was a huge mass anti-Zionist rally, a Jewish anti-Zionist rally in front of the Israeli consulate on 2nd Avenue, Manhattan. And then CBS would announce that there is a traffic jam on 2nd Avenue. And they would not say what the reason is. In other words, they purposely, intentionally ignore what is going on. So many people have no idea. But there is a massive religious Jewish anti-Zionist community who are outspokenly against Israel. What's important to understand is that not everyone comes out in each and every occasion. As you say, intimidation is massive. Pressure is enormous. I always tell this story. I had a very close friend of mine comes over to me once and tells me, I'll do everything I can to support you, to support your activities, but there's no way I can come out in person. I run a huge business. I come out in person, they take a picture of me, I close down the business the same day. But still, the anti-Zionism is strong. Our communities are very strong, and you can imagine if it wouldn't have been for those massive communities that will be behind us, we would not be able to be out there in these numbers and this so frequent and do so much.
Yes, you have.
And look, what he's doing and what he's talking about pretty much. Look, he's Jewish. He supports Israel, but he don't support what they doing. And he's saying it's Zionism. That's the difference between being a Jew. That's a political movement. And some folks in his community are all about doing that shit. He's not. He's doing exactly what I say people should do when it comes to issues that we were talking about, especially with the racism that we deal with as black folks in America. He's being an advocate against the bullshit, even though he's a part of the group that's doing it. He's speaking against the issue, even though he's a part of the group. He comes from the lineage of the people that are doing all this fucked up shit over there in that country. But at least he's willing to speak out about it. And that's why I said I put people in categories. I put people in categories when it comes down to like how you operate and how you get down, how I view you. Because there are people out here that see the bullshit that happens in America and they don't say a motherfucking word. They'll watch somebody do some fucked up shit and won't open their mouth. Then there are people that will actually do the fucked up shit. I look at both of them and put them in the same group together. If you're not speaking out against the bullshit, you're a part of the fucking problem. And I give him props for actually speaking out against what his country, his people are doing. Any thoughts, Ms. Jackson, before I keep going?
Well, that's just a sign of individuality, that represents true leadership. That you don't care about being a part of the crowd or popularity or being accepted, approved by people or in the in crowd. You're gonna stand up for what's right. So to me, it reverts back to character. And like you said again, when you stay silent, then you participate. Are you on the same team as the bullshit? So he's basically standing up as a leader to represent truth and doing the right thing.
All right. I agree with that shit. Let's keep going, man, because he's gonna say a few more things. I'm gonna let him go for maybe 5 more minutes, and then I'm gonna get y'all funny video for the night. But I like that he's explaining the situation over here, because a lot of people had a misconstrued approach on what's actually going on over there. And that's why you don't judge everybody by the same lens to a certain extent.
Huge numbers behind you, but also we're seeing Zionist groups like Betar recently becoming more emboldened and seeking to confront you. Can you speak on the activities of Zionist groups such as Betar?
Well, Betar, to begin with, I'm not sure how large they are, how strong they are. They might be very wild. They might be very aggressive. We didn't see them in large numbers, but yes, they are very aggressive. They're coming out in public, intimidating, harassing demonstrators. Happens to be peaceful demonstrators. These demonstrations taking place in New York City that we all attend. These are not dangerous demonstrations, and these people will always claim that the pro-Palestinian solidarity movement is dangerous, and so on.
Yeah, and sometimes they approach you. They tell you things like you should go to Gaza. You won't be safe in Gaza. How do you respond to that?
Oh, that's a good point. What they say is, go visit Gaza, and they always they also say, go to the Arabs. They will kill you first. And I always respond to that, and usually these arguments end up with nothing, because they don't know what's going on whatsoever. And I try always to tell these people, and people who are willing to listen, and some people are willing to listen, and I tell them, why are you so scared from these Palestinian people? They don't hate you. They don't want anything. They just want their freedom. We can live in peace with them. We lived in peace with them before Zionism came. They were always respectful for Jews, and they still are. But in the same time, they are deeply upset and against the crimes being committed to Palestine, which doesn't make these people anti-Semitic, doesn't make these people dangerous for Jews. While at the same time, yes, those people are vehemently opposing this occupation of Palestine. Now, when you find people on the street protesting the genocide in Gaza, this is not about protesting the Jewish people. This is not about protesting the Jewish religion. This is about crimes and which they are opposed to. And we as Jewish people share their frustration, and we share their pain of people who are disturbed when all of this is taking place.
What do you say?
But pretty much, y'all, their conflict, the Jews were kicked out of there. And honestly, I think a lot of these motherfuckers just Europeans. Like, I know they want to say that they were over there, but I did a deep dive into their shit. We might actually do a show on the actual long history of what happened over there, but he's hitting at the point. It's something similar, because I've heard a lot of white parents tell their kids, don't go over there with them blacks. They'll be the first ones to do something to you. They're telling him, you a Jew, you go over there with them Palestinians, they gonna do something to you, them Arabs gonna get you. It's like, they don't even know that man done been over there with them people. He know them people. This fight, I can't talk about all that shit right now. Yeah, this fight, I'm gonna do it in another video. Ms. Jackson, any thoughts right now? Because I see a lot of similarities.
Yeah, I'm just checking them out. I'm peeping old, you know what I'm saying? I'm peeping old cat, just see him getting a little more feel of where he coming from.
T-Rad.
To those who maybe agree with what you're saying, but also say that Jewish people need a strong Israel to be safe.
This is one of the arguments that the Zionists are using, that Jewish people suffered in the Holocaust. We are in exile for the past 2,000 years. It's about time for us to have a safe haven. And most of the time, this is religion is being used into these conversations. They are trying to use religion, some concepts of the Jewish religion, to justify this claim. But what one needs to understand is basically 2 points. First of all, this is not Judaism. According to Judaism, we are forbidden to create this so-called safe haven for the Jewish people. According to the very basics of Judaism, there's a concept of Jewish exile, which is a divine decree, which we are forbidden to end by any physical means, even if we find that this building a safe haven would be in our favor. According to our religion, this is forbidden. We accept the decree of God, whether it is comfortable or it isn't. We accept the word of God that we should not end this exile by any physical means. And we leave this up to God for him to end our exile. This is exactly what Judaism teaches us, that it's only God himself, that will bring the ultimate redemption, where all humanity together will serve the one God in peace and brotherhood. Zionism is forbidden. Safe haven is Zionism. But I have to add this other point. All of this would be true even if this would have been the safe haven for the Jewish people, even if this would have been the favor of Jews. But it happens to be that the state of Israel is the greatest danger for the Jewish people. While we lived in Palestine in peace, it is the occupation of Palestine which has destroyed this peace. And in addition, I have to add that, coming back to the previous point, even if this would have been in the favor of the Jewish people, we should never oppress another people. We should never harm another people because it might be in our interest.
Certainly very interesting.
That's some deep ass shit right there. First off, he's saying it's against their faith to even go back over there. I bet a lot of people didn't know that. But your faith, just because something bad happened, you don't mean you do something bad to somebody else. That's just what I got from that. It's common fucking sense. It's common fucking sense. But I love that he pointed out that for all them folks that keep claiming they're behind this and these people are actually a part of that community, y'all know that y'all going against your own God. They told you can't go back over there until he come back. This is actually one of the things that we have in our shit, because I ain't gonna get too deep on the religion shit, but I think we the people they be talking about all the time. But you're not even supposed to be over there until your God comes back. You're breaking his commandment right now. And look what's happening while this commandment is getting broke. All these people in this other country are dying. A lot of people are like, this all started because of fucking what's that? What's the name of that fucking group? They keep talking about Hamas. They keep talking about Hamas. Their militant group out there. This all started on October, whatever, I think like the 7th or something like that, when they came in there and they did some horrific shit. They murked some of them up. They murked some of y'all real bad. Murked y'all real bad. They act like it all started then. It's been started a long time before that. It's been started, like, for somebody to get to that point to do that to you, there's got to be a reason behind it. And a lot of people are not digging into what the reason is. And we actually are going to do a show on the digging on that, showing the whole history of this conflict and shit. Not tonight, though. So I'm gonna give about 2 more minutes of him, and then we go into a funny video.
Points you're making there philosophically and religiously, very interesting arguments. But Zionists often use religious arguments to justify the existence of Israel. How do you respond to those claims? And also, Zionists equate Judaism together with Zionism. And what's your take on that?
Zionists are conflating Judaism with Zionism because they need Judaism to support their movement of Zionism. But what happens here is something very ironic and very hypocritical. You have a movement of Zionism, which is officially a secular movement. It's not only secular because the founders of Zionism and the people with Zionists today are not only secular, they basically, many of them, hate Judaism. They hate God and his religion. For example, I have a friend of mine who grew up in Zionist education, grew up in Jerusalem. And he told me that what he was taught is that we, the Jewish people, have two enemies. Now guess who the two are and who the first is. The first is the religious Jew and the second is the Arab. Now, both of this is wrong. The religious Jew is basically the Jew. But this is how they hate religion, the Jewish religion, and they hate religious Jews, and which just shows you how far away they are from Judaism. But that movement, the movement of Zionism, who is secular and who refuses to follow Judaism, they misuse this very same religion they refuse to follow. And they misuse it to justify crimes, which were forbidden in this very same religion, because killing and stealing, oppressing an entire people, all of this is forbidden in Judaism. And as I said before, the whole concept, the idea of Zionism to build a sovereign homeland for Jews is in total contrast of Judaism. Now, seeing a secular movement misusing the religion doesn't make sense in the first place. But what my response to those people is, we can only explain and educate that while you are misusing the Jewish religion in each and every way is in total contrast to this movement of Zionism.
And when we take
I'm gonna stop it right there. Because pretty much what he got at, like, look, dude, these people over here that's doing this shit, just like, here. I'm trying to do something that might be similar to it. In America, you got a lot of Christians. I think we all can agree to that. There's a lot of Christians in America. Well, one of the big things they used in America to keep the slaves in check was the Bible. A lot of the reasons they justify enslaving us was the Bible. But their Bible completely speaks in contradiction of what they're doing. Their faith, and that's what he's speaking on with his people, their faith is telling them that they should not be doing this. Stealing and killing. And a lot of folks be like, what they stole? Motherfucker, you are exiled. What the fuck you doing over here? Right? You look like you stealing something right now. You stealing some other people's land. Because you want a safe haven. Or honestly, you just want to be a sick, evil individual. Stealing and killing is not a part of their shit, he said. But it shows me that people will use religion to justify evil, because we've had a good example of that in America. There's a lot of black folks that are Southern Baptists around this room, right? They use that same Bible to keep your ass in chains. It's crazy. And that's why I've always had an issue with religion, or at least the people that claim they practice it. Because some of the people that claim they're so religious will do some of the most evil shit you ever seen in your life. But what's your thoughts, Ms. Jackson? Because we about to get to the funny video.
Man, hell yeah, for sure. They double down and use religion as a mask and a form to cover up who they really is. And then on the flip side, they try to use it to hold you down and control. But over there in their country and their cultures with Jews, everything about them and their life and the lifestyle they live is based upon their religion. You know what I'm saying? So that's real heavy over there with them and whatnot. But yeah, man, I think, I give the man much respect, and my hat go off to him, because he, spoke up and stood his ground and spoke for, what's right and how much error that his people is in by mistreating others and trying to look down on others, because of their culture and their religion. So yeah, man. But listen, I might have to jump off because my phone been tripping. It's like trying to run hot. I don't know. I got to check it out and see what's going on.
Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do.
Yeah, man. But I was trying to yesterday. I know I accidentally hit something because I was trying to find out where to go live, where to post go live on my channel, to put your videos live on my channel. And I think I had hit the wrong button. And I don't know if you have to resend me the link because I was trying to get in the studio to do a pre-recording earlier and I couldn't really get into anything. But yeah, man. And I think I got to figure out which button to hit so I can know how to go live. I can hit it to go live on my channel as well while we get your video to go live.
I got you. Fucking we'll work on that shit. We'll figure it out. Fucking I'm trying to find this goddamn video, the one I was trying to play for y'all. But fucking I'm gonna find it in a second. But I got you on there. Yeah, that ain't nothing hard to fix at all.
Yeah.
Where the fuck is this bitch at? But like to the palace, we gonna do a video one of these days, y'all. One of these days I'm gonna get to the point of doing one of these videos on that issue going over there across the water, y'all, because it's fucked up. It's fucked up what's happening to them folks. And I don't really agree with the argument of the mainstream media, how they're pushing this issue. And it's showing me that it's America's on some real evil type shit. And a lot of people should ask them questions. What the hell these people over there in Israel got on us as a country? Because if you looked at how much money we send them motherfuckers every year, and y'all telling us black folks we can't get no reparations. Well, how much money you sending to another motherfucking country? And for what is the big question. For what? We gonna have to we gonna do a show on that shit, man, because there's a lot of unanswered questions going on right here. And I think a lot of people, well, actually, I want to give people I want to try to give people some hope. I think there's a lot of people in America that are against this shit. But it seems like the government has an issue with trying to solve something. Because real quick before we get to the front of the video, you know how they sit around supporting that white girl that called that little baby the N-word, and they're saying that it's freedom of speech, freedom of speech. That's what they keep going to.
Yeah.
They the same motherfuckers that sit around supporting Trump as he's kicking people that are here on green cards, student visas, out the country because they're supporting Palestine.
Shit, yeah. Hey, I'm already hip. It damn sure don't shock me. They double down on each other. You know what I'm saying? Double back, man. It's just hypocrites.
Right, that's completely hypocritical. And just so people know, I know a lot of people don't know, but if you're in this country, you're subject to the Constitution. You have those protections, regardless of whether you're illegal or not, regardless of whether you're on a visa. So this freedom of speech extends to everybody. But y'all support a bitch being hateful, but you'll kick a motherfucker out the country for speaking up for some people. That's a real issue that we got. But to the funny video, y'all. I'm sorry. I just that it is very hypocritical. But to the funny video, y'all.
Wow. You ain't sleep, is you?
What the fuck you want?
Sleep.
What the fuck you want? You know I'm damn asleep. What the fuck do you want?
I'm asking right now, or like, what you just sleep?
You woke me up. What the fuck do you want? What
I did. Oh, my bad. Well, look, you seen the news?
No, I ain't seen shit. What the fuck? What?
Not for real. Look, they just said something about the 18 to 26-year-olds can get drafted to the army.
You wake me up on some bullshit about somebody getting drafted to some fucking army.
I can get drafted to the army.
Man, cut my line out.
For real? Look, for real. What you gonna do if I get drafted? You gonna be mad, right? Ain't you gonna fight for me? Like, come on. I've been thinking about it all night. I couldn't sleep.
You woke me up on some bullshit about you gonna get drafted to the motherfucking army.
I could get drafted to the army.
You could get drafted.
Yeah, it's a possibility, yeah.
Yeah, it's 3 o'clock in the morning.
Where you trying to get drafted to what? My motherfucker, like you woke me up on some bullshit. I'm trying to sleep, and you come up here and tell me about some damn you about to get drafted.
I'm not about to get drafted. It's a possibility I could get drafted. You not scared?
What the fuck I want to get scared? I'm trying to go to sleep. I'm trying to sleep. You'll come up here and cut my light on.
I can get put on the front lines to Ukraine or something.
I don't give a fuck where you get drafted. I don't give a fuck who drafted you, where the fuck you go. cut my motherfucking light out. I'm trying to sleep. Damn, what time the fuck is it?
What if I'm the number one pick? In a draft, what if I'm the number one pick?
I won't give a fuck if you number 2, number 3, number 4, whatever number you is. If your ass ain't draft, it ain't that fast, okay? God damn, let me sleep. Cut my motherfucking light out. Damn, you worry about somebody, you getting drafted, you know, 1 or 2 or 3. What? If you draft, if you go get the fuck out. I don't give a fuck where you go draft, whoever, Army, Air Force, Marine, whoever go draft, I don't care. Don't come up here with me up no motherfucking more, about no motherfucking draft, okay?
You must have had a good sleep. What was you dreaming about?
Don't worry about what the fuck I was. Get the fuck out. I was sleep. Let me tell you something. I was sleeping. You come here and wake me up about some damn draft.
You gotta go back to sleep. It don't look like it. Might as well. Look. Yo, right, look. I'm just about to put on the news. I'm just about to read up.
You're not put on shit. You about to get your ass out of here. Cut my light out so I can go back to sleep. Okay?
Oh fuck.
Don't start questioning how long I was asleep, okay? Get the fuck out. I'm trying to go to sleep, okay? Cut my light out.
But you just said you was asleep. Why are you trying to go to sleep right now?
Why you come up here and wake me up on some bullshit about you getting dressed?
I don't think I really woke you up. I think you was already up.
You know what? You better go. I think you better go. You want to sit up here, a whole conversation about you about to get dressed and shit, and some other kind of shit. I'm not trying to hear it. I'm trying to go sleep. So cut my light out, okay?
All right, let me pray before I go to sleep. Come on, you can't do nothing while I'm praying. You can't do nothing while I'm praying. Come on now. Let me just pray. Come on, don't disturb me while I'm praying.
Get out.
I gotta pray.
If you don't move, I'm gonna kick you right in your damn head. Okay?
Stop. Let me just
go downstairs and pray.
I gotta go right here. I'm on my knees right now already. Hold on. Stop. You can't
go.
Do that.
Okay, get up. I'm trying to see.
Harvey, you can't do that.
I can't do what?
If somebody talking to God, you don't get down.
You go talk to God in there.
I'm gonna just come on.
Go
15 seconds. All I need.
You got 10 seconds.
All right, come on. You gonna do a countdown or do I gotta do it? So I can pray and count down?
You got 9.
Okay.
Okay, that's it. Okay.
I was in the middle of it. Almost.
Okay, you done. You done playing. You gotta stay here. You go ahead. Come on out. What'd you say?
What you about to do?
Come on out and go back to sleep.
All right. I will. Trust me.
Okay, then why you still on your knees? Why you still standing there? Still on your knees. Okay, okay.
All right, go back to sleep. You want me to read your bedtime story? It's a quick story.
Did I ask you for a bedtime story? Do I look like a child want to be read a bedtime story?
Everybody like bedtime stories.
Well, I tell you what then. You go read. You go downstairs and you read to yourself, okay? But cut my light out.
All right, good night.
Yeah. I'm not sleep. I'm gonna go to sleep.
You going to sleep right now? I ain't know. All right, good night, though.
Damn, this brother is standing there and they want to hold the conversation and shit. Can't try to go sleep.
I'm sorry.
He wildin', man. They wild.
His uncle make it funny for me, but I got to get to the part where he do a nuclear prank on his uncle, y'all. His uncle, he really made his uncle believe that there was like nuclear bombs getting shot the fuck off, and it was about to be over with. This shit. These the type of pranks that I can get along with. The ones y'all where y'all be touching folks and fucking folks up. Nah, that y'all need to stop with that shit. They get your ass shot. These are funny pranks to me.
You want to pray everything?
Yeah, man, it's wild.
Standing, taking your ass right on downstairs, go to bed and shit, waking me up.
Right, yeah, I gotta skip ahead. All right, here we go.
I got all them oranges.
Yeah, I like my fruit. Shit. Oranges, shit.
Why you ain't got them like in a bag or something?
I don't know.
Oh, and hey, Alexis, I see you.
Look, missiles launched from Russia.
In Europe closely.
Normal programming has been interrupted at the request of the U.S. government. Everyone receiving this broadcast should pay close attention. The information contained in this broadcast is vital to your safety. Please stand by.
What that mean?
Sound like a fucking attack. When you hear that, that's a signal. That's letting you know. It's finna be.
Say this is not a test. The U.S. government has issued a national
emergency alert system has been activated. This is a national emergency. All broadcast and cable systems shall transmit this emergency action notification message. Important instructions vital to your safety will follow.
We got to go to war.
They
in America.
Man, it's gonna be a fucking attack. I don't know where the fuck they are. I don't know where they're about to be a fucking attack. That's a signal.
We got to attack too.
They let everybody know that's what that shit
is transmitted at the request of the United States government. This is not a test. The United States has been subjected to a nuclear attack. The North American Aerospace Defense Command has detected the launch of 12 nuclear missiles aimed towards the mainland United States. 4 of the 12 missiles launched have been intercepted. The 8 remaining nuclear missiles will strike the following locations in the next 15 to 20 minutes: Los Angeles, San Diego, Chicago, Houston, Phoenix, New York City, Philadelphia, and Seattle. Within a 300-mile radius of these areas, everyone should seek out a fallout shelter as soon as possible. Nuclear fallout is a byproduct of nuclear attacks, and prolonged exposure to it will almost certainly kill you. If a nearby area has been designated as a fallout shelter, get there right away. Otherwise, seek refuge on the lowest floor of a sturdy building's interior. Make sure you have enough food, drink, and a battery-operated radio. Wait until
we gotta go to the police station or something.
Fuck you can't go no fucking police station.
Use your telephone. The lines should be kept open in case of an emergency. Tune into a station that is serving your area for more information. The president will address the nation on all radio and television stations shortly. Stand by for this message. This is a national emergency.
We gotta go to war now. Oh my God. I know it. I know it. That's I blame you. Voting for Joe Biden.
Man, this is not no time to be trying to.
No. If Joe, you didn't vote for Joe Biden, we wouldn't be doing this. I told you not to vote for him.
Man, talking about vote for nobody. Need to take shelter. They tell you what the fuck to do.
Hide under the bed then. Go with Joe Biden. Hide under the bed then.
I don't know. You got to go. You know
to the police station. Ain't nowhere to go but the police station. Where we gonna go?
Do you know when it say seek shelter? That means
the police station.
Fuck the police station. The police station can't do a motherfucking thing.
The launch of 12 nuclear missiles aimed towards the mainland United States. 4 of the 12 missiles launched have been intercepted. The 8 remaining.
So they got to come to America. Russia here. They here.
So we got to get the fuck out of here. We got to find. See, I use what they saying.
Okay, get under the bed. Hurry up.
Get under the fucking bed. 6 seconds
under the bed. They blowing missiles and everything. The bed protect you.
What the fuck bag gonna do a motherfucking thing?
If you hiding under the bed, that's what they taught us in school. Get under the thing to do this. Hurry up. Man, move the bed.
You got to go. We got to go find some. No, get in the bed. Go in the fucking basement. Go get in the basement.
All right, come on.
Go in the fucking basement. Shit.
Hours after the detonation, when it is giving off the highest levels of radiation, it takes time
playing too motherfucking much. Enough about you playing with this bullshit. You playing all the motherfucking time. I got time for them shit. Shit. If the shit fuck them come out, start breaking up, motherfuckers start going crazy. On some bullshit. That's what I'm saying. When it's a time to play, it's a time not to be playing. This kind of shit you don't play, never know when the fuck this shit might go off. These motherfuckers crazy as fuck any goddamn well.
Oh God. All right, y'all. That's all I got for y'all tonight, man. He needs to stop pranking his uncle like that, man. I know that shit gonna make that man mad, man. He gonna have a heart attack one day, fucking around with his nephew. But look, man, it's been fun tonight, man. Y'all hit that like, hit that subscribe, share the videos, turn the noties on, all that in a bag of chips. We will be. I should be gaming tomorrow, y'all. I ain't get the game today because I woke up late. But outside of that, we might be doing some Call of Duty tomorrow. For y'all that want to hop on and shit, we gonna live stream it. But yeah, man, it's been fun. Y'all stay out of trouble, man. I know it's Saturday. Stay out of trouble. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do. And your boy catch you in the next one as always, man.
Don't tell me about me. Stop telling 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 me about me. I don't need you to tell me about me.